Most of us have come to know Norton and their suite of cybersecurity products. But when it comes to identity theft protection, I'm here to say, slow down there, cowboy. Let's not get trigger happy. Whether or not you've been burned before, if you're looking to protect you and your family from identity theft, there are better options out there than LifeLock. In fact, of the 7 identity theft protection solutions I've used, they're one of 2 that I have no interest in using again. But hey, if you do sign up with LifeLock, or anyone else for that matter, check out my links in the video description here for my latest deals and recommendations. I always keep that up to date. So why am I so disgruntled with LifeLock? Let's get our toes wet with a quick story about a boy and his phishing attempt. That's phishing with a PH, like the jam band, but completely different. One day this boy gets a phone call from someone claiming to be from his credit card company. One thing leads to another and the boy realizes he's divulging his social security number, and then he starts asking questions. The alleged representative starts acting fishy, the boy gets nervous and he hangs up. Luckily the boy remembers he has identity theft protection from LifeLock, and a smile lifts his rosy cheeks. After getting sent around in circles on LifeLock's website for a few minutes, the boy's finally able to find the phone number for customer support. He dials it up. 3 minutes later, he's connected with a human in a loud call center. The agent's nice enough, but English is clearly not their strong suit. As the boy recounts his story, there are lots of pauses on the other end as the agent types away. The boy is asked to repeat parts of his story several times as the smile slowly starts to fade from his face. The agent advises the boy to block the number and says that no further actions required. Shouldn't I be concerned? The boy wonders as the agent types away. A dull ache starts to form in the boy's frontal lobe. After several more confirmations of his story, the agent provides the boy with his case number. She then stumbles through a scripted reply, ending with an assurance that the boy's LifeLock plan includes up to $1 million in identity theft insurance. Is that all they're selling? Insurance? As the call comes to an end, the boy feels uneasy, unsure of how to proceed, and alone. It's a sad story. I know, because the little boy wasn't a little boy at all, but rather a full-grown introverted man now sitting in front of a camera talking to the YouTubes. Life is funny sometimes. And every single time I've called LifeLock, that's the way it's been. Trust me, when something really bad happens, you're gonna wish you were working with someone you could count on. Now, every other identity theft protection company I've worked with is way better than LifeLock in this regard. LifeLock's the standout. And with LifeLock, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The way LifeLock works is that you input the personal information that you want to monitor, and it'll scan the dark web. It'll send you an alert if it finds your information sitting there like a duck, waiting to be exploited. Or at least, it should. You can monitor all sorts of things, like your phone numbers, addresses, mother's maiden name, those kind of things. Although it only allows you to monitor 5 email addresses, which really isn't enough for me. LifeLock also monitors the public web for instances of your personal information, although unlike Aura and Identity Guard, they won't proactively submit opt-out requests on your behalf with data brokers. If you want them to do that, you need to request it, and believe it or not, you need to pay them extra. This is the beginning of a theme that we'll come back to again and again. I'm going to show you what LifeLock turns up for my personal information on the dark web in just a bit here, but before we do that, I want to talk a bit about the other types of monitoring LifeLock offers. All of LifeLock's plans monitor utility accounts, so if someone tries to open an electric account in your name, for example, you'll get an alert. They also offer credit monitoring, so if there are changes to your credit record, like someone tries to open an account in your name, you'll get an alert for that too. But this is where things start to get a little bit hazy with LifeLock's tiered payment structure. If you want alerts on crimes committed in your name, like if someone puts your name down during an arrest, you'll need to upgrade to their mid-tier Advantage plan. And if you want home title monitoring, so you get an alert if somebody tries to add their name to your home deed, which sounds crazy, but it happens, you'll need to have their top-tier Ultimate Plus plan. Both of these things are standard with Aura. Similarly, if you want 3-bureau credit monitoring, you'll need to upgrade to LifeLock's Ultimate Plus plan. 3-bureau credit monitoring is standard with companies like Aura and Complete ID. And if you want monthly Vantage scores and annual credit reports from all 3 bureaus, well, actually you can't get that with LifeLock. The most you can get from all 3 bureaus is annual scores and reports, and that's on their Ultimate Plus plan. And if you even want 1 bureau scores and reports, you need to upgrade to their Advantage plan. LifeLock does offer the convenience of a credit lock so that you can prevent unwanted inquiries into your credit file with the click of a button, but yes, you'll need to have an upgraded plan. And while transaction monitoring doesn't come standard on LifeLock's plans like it does with almost every other identity theft protection company I've worked with, you can get it if you upgrade to their Advantage plan. This allows you to link bank accounts and credit cards and monitor activity. You can set transaction alerts so that you get notifications if there are any charges over a specified limit. And you won't find other bells and whistles like a VPN or antivirus on LifeLock's plans like you do with the other companies. Probably because they'd prefer you buy Norton standalone products. Like Norton Antivirus, for example, which you may have been using back when Napster made a splash. Norton does offer a free password manager though, and while it was targeted by hackers in early 2023, it does seem to have held its own. So LifeLock does have a couple strikes against them with subpar customer support and a pay-to-play pricing structure which pushes you towards the higher tiers. But their dark web monitoring must make up for for it, right? This is Norton after all. Well, let's see what LifeLock turns up for my personal information on the dark web. I monitor the same personal information across all the identity theft protection solutions that I use. In the case of LifeLock, which only allows you to monitor 5 email addresses, I make sure to leave one out that doesn't turn up any dark web alerts across any of the other companies. Lucky for me, my dark web alerts are limited to login credentials at various websites, typically usernames and passwords. While that's obviously not desirable, it could be a lot worse. And having some passwords leaked in a breach is nearly inevitable these days. In total, LifeLock returns 8 dark web alerts for my personal information, and all 8 of these are unique. They include my username and password from sites like Adobe, MySpace, and Dropbox. Only 8 hits, that doesn't seem too bad. But how does it compare to other identity theft protection solutions? Well, examples of good monitoring would include Aura and Identity Guard, which each turn up 18 dark web hits in total, 9 of which are unique. And Identity Force turns up a total of 20 dark web alerts, 10 of those are unique. While dark web monitoring isn't a perfect science and you typically won't get complete crossover from company to company, LifeLock is missing a ton of data breach compilations on the dark web. Those make up a lot of the non-unique alerts that the other companies find. But what's even worse is that LifeLock doesn't find the hits associated with one of my Gmail addresses, and that includes the login to the Gmail itself. Now I'm good, I've long since changed that Gmail password, but all the other identity theft protection solutions I've used find it on the dark web. It's a bit concerning to me that LifeLock doesn't find it, especially something that's so sensitive and high profile. When compared to the performance of the other identity theft protection solutions I've used, I'd say that LifeLock's dark web monitoring is insufficient. But in addition to dark web monitoring, it's important to consider what an identity theft protection solution offers for threat resolution. We already know that LifeLock's customer support leaves a lot to be desired, and that's the last thing you want to be dealing with when you're already having a rough day. LifeLock's plans include US-based identity restoration specialists, but remember, you have to get to them first. In terms of financial backing, LifeLock's standard plan was recently reworked to include up to $1,050,000 in identity theft insurance. Up to $1 million of that is for lawyers and experts, up to $25,000 of that is for stolen funds reimbursements, and up to $25,000 of that is for personal expense compensation. Up to $1 million in identity theft insurance is pretty standard as a minimum across the other companies I've used, and I'm guessing LifeLock recently upped theirs to stand out from the competition. Aura's plans, for example, cover up to $1 million per adult, which is up to $5 million on their family plan, and the others don't break the coverage down into buckets, so I'm curious if that extra $50,000 from LifeLock is really helping you at the end of the day. Although with LifeLock's upgraded plans comes upgraded insurance coverage. And on the Advantage plan you can get up to $1,200,000, and on the Ultimate Plus plan you can get up to $3 million in insurance. And if you do choose the family plan, the coverage is for each adult, and you also get up to $1,050,000 in coverage for each child, which is definitely nice. Although if you read those footnotes, it's not quite as good as it looks. And at the end of the day, you're still dealing with LifeLock's poor customer support and subpar monitoring. Furthermore, the prices really aren't all that great when compared to the other companies, and keep in mind that they renew at a higher rate after the first year. Personally, I'm really turned off by this convoluted pricing structure, and when you consider the whole picture, it all seems like one big upsell with not much of a foundation. I'd highly recommend you check out Aura. They're my favorite identity theft protection solution right now. But really, there are a lot of good alternatives to LifeLock. But whichever identity theft protection you choose, remember to check out my links in the video description here. I always keep that updated with my latest deals and recommendations. You can check out my head-to-head comparison of LifeLock versus Aura right here on this channel. I also have a full review of Aura you can watch, and tons of reviews and head-to-head comparisons of identity theft protection solutions in the queue, so stay tuned.